Okay, well, I guess we're doing this live. So this is not for fun or for profit. This is for record keeping. It's not every off. Well, it's been pretty much never that Tricia Elliott. Thank God, Tricia Elliott now has ever gone on record with her lies to this extent. I mean, yes, she's got some stuff with like false protective order filings and shit like that, but never has she revealed this much drama going on outside of my knowledge and made it available for me to see and get a chance to react to. My God, this is the worst I've ever seen her looking, by the way. Um, you know, oh, I know recently to my son, I actually paid her a compliment. She was one hell of a cook. We were we were broke all the time. Turns out, hindsight shows she was behind this instability, but and she knew how to turn beans and rice and staples into some freaking good ass food, man. Used to eat great. I was like, man, I'm so blessed. Just for that. Restaurant quality freaking Mexican food for cheap. Like, broke as hell and didn't feel that bad. Not till I get to being broke and I got to fend for myself. Um, well, for some reason, when I need it the most, now I can't make the spices work. But anyway, I digress. That's actually been within the last couple of weeks. But overall, as much as possible, this bitch is out of sight, out of mind. But she's always out there. She's always scheming. I always know this. So, and there's a lot of other people that know it too. But once she decides she's done with you, that you're no more use for her, she burns you and she doesn't look back. So you'll get blindsided. You won't know what the hell just happened. You're thinking something. Well, I don't know. I mean, I only know from being blindsided as her husband when we had never discussed divorce as even a possibility. A month or less after she's praised me on Facebook to other cult members, and yeah, I'm pretty naive. I'm, I don't know where I stand on religion. I'm done with organized religion, but I'm not, what to make of my faith and stuff. I don't know, honestly, because I don't understand how so many phony ass people get so far with fucking religion and do so much evil. I can't see how a good God, a good creator, even lets that happen. Like, I mean, I understand to an extent, free will and all that, fine, but to make a total mockery of him. I mean, if there's ever a time to bring lightning, and fire and brimstone and all that, is to take those motherfucking hypocrites out of the way so that people that are being held accountable for their life choices can make those based off of truth. But I digress. I can't guarantee I can check my emotions enough, but this is a video that is on her account that can go away at her will. There's some other gold mines that came out too with her whole little spat with the Hallelujah scriptures while she was trying to grift off of them and ended up getting the boot. I guarantee you there's more to meet that story. I mean, I'm not here to defend Hallelujah scriptures, hell no. But I guarantee you there's more to meet that story than the story that they were working really hard to make out of it. I bet you that guy that helped with the GoFundMe got a cut of that $10,000. Guarantee you. They really wanted to get some people worked up over that, and apparently they did to the tune of $10,000. And if you'll look, there's a series of videos out there, but in one of those where it's like, where it's part one and two of talking to her about it, she alludes to this whole situation that happened with my fucking daughter. Sorry, and I don't mean to say my fucking daughter like I'm pissed with my daughter, but the situation is that my daughter got fucking raped by her cousin. And Tricia knows exactly what that guy's family is about, and she allowed that to happen. And then she does this little scapegoating on this bullshit here. This is fucking bullshit. This is not a genuine mother giving a fuck about that happening to my daughter. This is somebody that's grifting off of people, trying to keep the grift alive, trying to cover her own ass and leave herself in a position for either sympathy or whatever, trying to negotiate her way to something else before the shit hits the fan. Is what this is. And I'm not here to be pissed off and ranting. I'm really just wanting to get this preserved while I can. But it's pretty fucking hard not to get pissed off. At the same time, I'm not surprised. It was a guarantee that this woman was able to get the custody of the kids instead of going to prison like she should have, that something bad was going to probably happen to them. It was more likely than not. And I got to count my blessings that they're all still alive. They've been homeless. They went from being straight A students to freaking dropouts, aka homeschooled. My daughter, she alludes in this video somewhere about her like regressing because of how traumatic the experience was. Bullshit, she's been regressed since day one because this woman has her living nothing but lies. And when you live lies, you don't know where the truth should take you. You don't know. A daughter doesn't know how to grow up, how to fake growing up. And that's the problem. That's why she's regressed. I've got text exchanges with her where I call her out on the fact that she doesn't seem like she's grown up at all. For that very fucking reason. The stuff that I have no idea what they allege in profit, but the stuff they allege to my face, that's even lies and stuff, there's a couple things that it would be horrific if true, but there's just a couple things, and overall, it's fucking petty. You're talking about going fatherless by choice? You go from having a home, a roof over your head, family outings, stability, and you want to trade all of that, all of your accomplishments, your bright fucking future, you want to trade all of that over some petty shit to go be homeless with your mom that had abused you and abandoned you? All in the name of this fucking cult that she pretended she wasn't part of during court, conveniently. Oh, yeah, but yeah. Oh, yeah, she'll play the game. You guys think that she gives a shit about the law of the land and stuff. She only gives a shit about what she can work to her advantage. Because she came back and played the courts like that was her thing. And she denied every little bit about what happened. I figured out what she was going by when she was on the run for freaking, I guess it ended up only being like 3 or 4 years. Man, it sure seemed like it was longer. Not knowing what she was up to, I managed to track it down, figure it out, get a few things put together. I managed to actually get a lot of information from somebody that knew her. But she just blatantly denied all of that. In court, fuck. What's the fucking truth if nobody's going to hold you accountable? That's why she feels perjured the fuck out of herself on the stand. I was representing myself for that last hearing. There was nothing for me to fight for. My kids had lied to the judge the first round, and if they were willing to do that, I didn't need them in my house. I have another son whose mom is dead, who she tried to make a case to get to. It's not her kid. That's how evil she fucking is. Fuck no. Them kids, no. While they're wanting to hold to any of the fucking lies, they've removed themselves from the equation. I still love them. Nothing has changed other than the fact that they've made it impossible for me to put that love in action, in any kind of tangible action. It's just flat out impossible because they use it. She does the same thing. You give her anything. I tried. I wanted my kids to have co-parent. I wanted them to have the very best that was possible for them, including giving co-parenting a shot to a fault. And she just took advantage of every bit of that. And then the county was corrupt and stuff like that. So as far as where have I been and all this shit, I'm not out of the picture by choice. I'm out of the picture out of necessity, but I've only stayed out by necessity. I didn't get out by choice at all. And they had to fake it. They had to consider my daughter, the one that was raped apparently by her nephew, which, by the way, I hate to say it, and as crazy as it seems, as outrageous as it is and stuff like that, it can still be completely and totally bullshit. Even if Allison backs it up, it can be total bullshit. Trust me, I can tell you. And I hate to say that because, my God, if something like that happened to her, I'm pissed. I believe it at first glance because I believe that she's been that fucking irresponsible and doesn't give enough of a shit about them to keep them safe. I absolutely believe it. And yeah, She loves the fact that her uncle molested her. That may be going overboard to say that, but I guarantee you, anybody that knows her, I challenge anybody that knows her, beyond just being a name that they've passed once in a while, but you feel like you know her, like you've acquainted with her a lot, either you, something beyond just you know who she is by name. You haven't just seen her across the room or just interacted a few times here or there, but somehow you feel like you actually know her. If you're that close with her, odds are you know that her uncle raped her or molested her as a kid. Everybody does. Supposedly, it's very shameful, and I can imagine it would be, but you don't see it on display with her. It's a card she likes to have available to play. And yeah, I mean, I didn't, I was one of the, when we got married, I didn't know about it till we were staying, and she manipulated me to get me to go up to Spokane, but we were living in that uncle's bus out front of their house. There's a whole bunch of bullshit going on with their family in that such situation. We were in that bus before I found out. And then she's like trying to hold me accountable for not caring or whatever. I'm like, fuck. You know, like I had a chance to decide whether or not she was going to be in that terrible position. Like, I wasn't given the knowledge in advance. That wasn't, you know. But anyways, I didn't know she was all as manipulative as she was. So by the way, I don't like to look at cameras. I talk to people, so I'm looking at myself, even though it looks awkward. But so I'm not a professional, you know. I do some content creation and whatnot, but I'm not good at it. That's why I make a lot of YouTube content. Just having the camera where I can look at it and then have the virtual reality take care of making eye contact is great for me, because I don't fake shit, and I don't like to looking at a camera and trying to me, that's just being fake, kind of. I understand it, and it'd be kind of good to learn, but it's not right. I do authentic, man, and everything, and I'm pretty much a dork socially because of it. Now, anyways, here I am ranting, and I got to get this rolling before my luck. They'll tune into this live stream and delete the video before I'm done. But then I'll just have to do the live stream off of the recording that I have as a YouTube premium member, but that will go away eventually. So here we go. Oh, my bad. I'm looking at my preview so I can see my camera at the same time.
Psalm 18, 48 and 49. My deliverer from my enemies. You lift me up above those who rise against me. You deliver me from a man of violence. Therefore, I give thanks to you, O Yahweh, among nations. And I sing praises to your name.
Oh, spoken with such conviction. That's already starting off golden. Okay.
Psalm 18, 48 and 49. My deliverer from my enemies. You lift me up above those who rise against me. You deliver me from a man of violence.
She didn't even know how to use this in context.
I give thanks to you, O Yahweh, among
Who did she get delivered from? She delivered her children over to the men of violence, right?
And I sing praises to your name.
Who hurt her?
Making great the deliverance of his sovereign, and showing kindness to his anointed.
All right. That didn't even apply here. But, you know, it doesn't have to, does it? The cult's like, oh, accept her.
First of all,
it's a sister.
apologize for how long it has taken me to reach the point of being able to make this video.
Oh, yeah, but you sure sounded chipper enough referencing the situation when you spoke to somebody in real time.
Nathan Reynolds, specifically.
Nathan Reynolds.
The Reynolds family from the Linen Railroad channel.
From what channel?
For speaking out boldly.
Okay, hang on.
Taking all of the flack.
Hang on.
That they have.
I've been kind of wondering where some of this other crap went down.
I want to, first of all, apologize for how long it has taken me to reach the point of being able to make this video. And I want to thank Nathan Reynolds, specifically, the Reynolds family from the Linen Railroad channel, for speaking out boldly and taking all of the flack that they have.
Okay. Well, that should be on the stream now. I don't catch it.
And for others who have spoken up in comments about their experiences and the things they witnessed at Parable of the Vineyard in Galena, Missouri, and Camp Tomahawk, the homeless camp that Parable of the Vineyard was operating out of. We were there. This is going to be my attempt at a short
A bunch of winners, man, operating in a homeless camp.
testimony. I have. For me to tell the whole story, it will take so long. I have tried
Why is
many
this so
times,
much?
and we're still healing. It's a very difficult topic, and
Alright, this is all a bunch of fluff.
I felt the urgency that I
Take
needed
pauses.
to prepare my testimony. And as I prayed about it, I
Alright.
was praying for clarity in how to proceed with this video specifically.
Alright.
And so this is going to be the Reader's Digest version. It may not be enough information for all of you. Anyone who is interested in the truth and people who are considering going there in the future, that's who this is for.
Well, how great.
For anyone else who's already
It's not about herself. It's for these other people who might be affected.
been speaking
Which would
out
be a noble
against,
thing, obviously.
Nathan Reynolds for his video.
Mm.
Uh,
Nathan Reynolds
this
is gonna.
video isn't going to help you. I'm not here to convince any of you.
Oh, no, of course not.
Your opinion of me is none of my business.
I don't
And
have one.
I am praying for right ruling in all things, as it says in Amos, let right ruling go forth like a river.
Yeah, easy to say it. Actually meaning
I
it,
pray that we all
you don't have to mean it to say it. But it's the
humble
right thing to say,
ourselves
right?
under the hand of Yahuwah.
Oh. Yeah, so you're right. Okay.
But we have to protect the innocent.
Hmm. Oh, it's said with such
That's what
conviction.
happened in Parable of the Vineyard.
Oh, no. That's with such conviction, too. Oh, yeah. I've got to pause for effect.
My family and
Roll
I
eyes,
stayed
look
at Parable
up.
of the Vineyard for just about 2 months.
Talk slow.
Right before we became postal agents for Hallelujah Scriptures, along with my cousin Aaron Parks, my biological cousin. His uncle is my mom's, or his dad, sorry, is my uncle. His dad's my mom's brother. He is my actual cousin.
Yeah, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his dad.
He was also a postal agent with us. He moved out on
Oh.
Shabbat, assisted by Adam.
Hmm.
They immediately came.
Oh,
supposedly
yeah.
rescue us, but we didn't need rescued. We had the
Then,
law on our side, and we did
shoot.
not have to
Why
leave,
is this-
especially on Shabbat.
hmm,
My daughter was already in
why won't this pause?
Galena with some of the other young people from Parable on what was supposed to be a visit.
Okay, so I just want to say, grift. If you go look at those videos regarding the Hallelujah Scripture stuff, just search Tricia Elliott or Hallelujah Scriptures. I'm not even sure if you know how to search for them on YouTube, whatever. But if you search Tricia Elliott by her name here, Tricia, then space ELLIOTT. Anyways, if you search her, and if you're finding this video because of her, if you search her, you should find these other videos. And anyways, what was my point on this? Oh, yeah. Just to let you know how they were taking advantage of to try to maximize the situation, they were talking about 2 families being involved. Oh, wait. Never mind. I'm wrong. I'm kind of wrong. So I guess, I don't know. I get the impression almost like it was just Aaron that was there, but then, then his wife does get mentioned a few times, I guess, and then I guess they have a baby or something, but a lot of the impression is that it's just Aaron. And so at one point I had the impression that they were referring to Aaron as himself as a family, and then Trish and the kids as another family. But no, okay, sorry, that's an aside. My bad. That's completely my bad right there. But so, yep. Anyways, my agenda, right? To, oh, now I'm looking at a different monitor at the same stuff. I don't know how I'm doing this. This was not my idea of a good time. I had video games to play tonight.
Charge complete.
All right. Good God. I should have set up a shortcut. Okay.
And
Well, anyways.
she
Oh, wait, I got an idea.
was having a manic episode, which she hadn't had at home before. She had never had anything like that.
Okay, wait a minute.
Assisted by Adam.
Okay.
They immediately came to supposedly rescue us, but we didn't need rescued. We had the law on our side, and we did not have to leave, especially on Shabbat. My daughter was already in Galena with some of the other young people from Parable.
Elena, I saw that
What was
address
supposed
come
to
up.
be a visit, and she
Visit. Okay, so I'm
was having a manic episode.
getting a chance to like have some of these
which
dots
she
connect a
hadn't
little
had
better.
at home before. She had never had anything like that, ever. And I did trust my cousin completely. And if anyone wants to know if you don't already know what happened with Hallelujah Scriptures, you can search my name or his name.
Oh yes, I'm glad she brings this
Hallelujah
up.
Scriptures in YouTube, and you
Okay,
can
hang
see
on.
the whole investigation done by Jason Boss, the Boss family.
Yes, do tell.
Have been wonderful friends and mishpocha
Mishpocha.
throughout this whole process. And for the few of you who reached out to us personally out of concern for the things that were happening with my daughter and with the Hallelujah Scriptures, I want to thank you sincerely.
Oh,
We
very,
never
very
felt
sincerely.
more abandoned in our lives.
Oh yeah, come on. You can do better than that, Tristan. You can do better than that. You can
Adam
cry more convincingly. Come on, pull it off.
Helped protect my daughter's
Why is it-
rapist.
Why is this not? What? Wait a minute. Come
Aaron
on,
Parks
Tricia.
sexually assaulted my daughter.
Hang on. I gotta back this up. This. Okay, it's already horseshit, considering the supposed scope of what she's bothered by. But it's quadruple horseshit because she, at least historically, was able to lay it on a whole hell of a lot thicker than that for less. To lay it on for less. That's something that definitely should have more. She can't even. I'm sorry. This. I don't even know why I'm taken aback by it. Like, it really should not be a surprise. I just have never understood. I've never been able to fathom how she can give zero shits about her own kids. But the only way she can do the shit that she's done is that. Now, what spell she's got them under to go this far, or how well they might still be under it, whether they even feel like they have options, because they kind of don't have many at the moment, they can't come here. Not straight away. They can go, if there's some kind of intermediary, and then they can get a chance to prove themselves when they get away from manipulation, and there's just reach a point that I can have some confidence that they're not just plotting against me somehow, then, I haven't lost any love for my kids. But I haven't lost any love for my son either, and so that's kind of priority number one. He hasn't lied about me. He hasn't taken my ability to protect him out of my hands like the kids did themselves. So, anyways, all right. But I'm just saying, she could do that. You would have to know her to realize this. It's not enough that it's pathetic is a pathetic show as it is, but to know her and know what she has been capable of in the past, to know that it's not even worth a better job faking emotion than that, pisses me off.
For the few of you who reached out to us personally out of concern for the things that were happening with my daughter and with Hallelujah
Wait a minute,
Scriptures,
wait a
I
minute.
want to thank you.
Oh, yes,
Sincerely.
thank you. Okay, hang on.
For
Oh,
the
yeah.
Fink episode.
Okay, I saw some of this shit while trying to figure out what all's going on here. Guys, it is absolutely out fucking outrageous. They're having fucking meetings at this place about this shit that's been happening with these kids. And there are people there are more concerned about saving face for their fucking cult than about keeping these kids safe. And nobody's concerned about the fact that law enforcement should be brought in because these are crimes being committed. Fuck your religion. Deal with these fucking crimes. Protect these kids. Oh, what the hell? Anyways, I don't know what the frick that is. Okay, anyways. So I digress. There's messes on multiple levels.
Which she hadn't had at home before. She had never had anything like that. Ever.
Look at the comments for this actual video if it's still up.
I did trust my cousin completely, and if anyone wants to know my...
One person
If you don't already know
comments
what
about
happened with Hallelujah
the
Scriptures,
legal
you can search my name or his
issues.
name, along with Hallelujah Scriptures in YouTube, and you can see the whole investigation done by Jason Boss, the Boss family. Have been wonderful friends, and
She's always going to have somebody that she mooches off of
Throughout
while
this
she
whole
can. I guarantee you guys, it's just a matter of time. If she doesn't go to prison like she should for this shit already, the Boss family is going to be like wolves and all that shit. It happens, everybody.
Out of concern for the things that were happening with my daughter and with the Hallelujah Scriptures, I want to thank you sincerely. We never felt more abandoned in our lives. And Adam helped protect my daughter's rapist. Aaron Parks.
Notice she goes, I mean, this is her cousin. She makes a point at the very beginning to point out that this is my actual cousin. So as her cousin, so you'll see her not be able to pick a fucking side. Tries to throw in that she still cares about Aaron, that she's not that bad. She's playing this weird fucking ground that is only meant for one thing, and that's to try to save enough face to still have play inside this cult so she can get some more free assistance from people, have more options for moving around, being irresponsible like she loves to do. She loves to freaking do this. She abandoned the kids so she could go with some people earlier on in the cult from Oklahoma to North Carolina. And then they proceeded to go to Montana, and they raised hell at multiple different places. And I still have the documentation from those people. She's left a trail of terror with people when they no longer benefited her. And so now that's what she's doing right now. She's got to keep that option available for herself. So she's walking a fine line here, and that's why at one moment she's supposed to be pissed, so it's my daughter's rapist for effect. But then the other moment she's tempering it because it's Aaron, her cousin Aaron, and a brother, and I don't. It's sick. It's this soupy, stupid, fake. God, it's disgusting. Especially given the allegation. Now, honestly, earlier I was super pissed, but I mean, but a big part of that though is, well, and I'm going to get there, but supposedly he got my daughter pregnant. And who wants their daughter to have a kid that's born from incest, not just rape, but incest, and have that be their freaking future. No chance of the father coming around and being in the baby's life in any kind of normal sense there. No. Normalcy is off the table. You just have a child that's a single parent in a very weird situation. The best case scenario maybe is that somebody later on would marry them and be a father to that child and carry on as though all was well in the world. You know, it's a horrible, horrible concept. So I think that made it hit harder, but then I think it's in the comments here. And it might be the comment where the one person, it seemed like I only recall one person caring about the fact that crimes were committed here. And daring even ask whether they did anything to report it. But anyways, I think that's where it got mentioned that she wasn't going to go there. She wasn't going to put all this information out. She put the information out. She never puts videos out. She put the video out discussing her daughter being raped by her nephew. But when it comes to the comments talking about how serious it is and it's law enforcement, then she's not going to go there. So when it comes to accountability for actually handling the situation appropriately, she's concerned about my daughter's privacy. But I guess there's supposedly been a miscarriage in the meantime. So was it a miscarriage, or was it an abortion, or was it a lie from the get-go? There is no telling with this woman or with my daughter. And I hate to have to say that about my daughter, but I have to say that about my daughter. My daughter just not long before court looked at me with every bit the warmth in her eyes that I would have expected, that all was well between us, and then went in and lied in such a way to the judge that there was as far as she knew, there was a real possibility that I could be ended up in jail over the shit that they were saying. And she didn't care. She had her own agenda. And so to be so completely two-faced like that, I still don't. I've somewhere sunk in. I know that was the reality, but I didn't know what to make of it. Anyways, okay.
Sexually assaulted my daughter.
Oh, wait. Let me.
At Parable of the Vineyard.
See, I'm terrible, but I don't do reaction videos.
For have been wonderful friends and mishpocha.
Got to throw in the Hebrew term, right?
Process. And for the few of you who reached out to us personally out of concern for the things that were happening with my daughter and with the Hallelujah Scriptures, I want to thank you sincerely. We never felt more abandoned in our lives. And Adam helped.
There was a sliver of actual emotion there that, I mean, it was still being amplified, no doubt, but there was a sliver there that was more convincing than anything else so far in this video. But notice her whole grift was on the line right there. When she's talking about never feeling more abandoned, she was at that point where there was a moment in there where she didn't know where the next grift, the way out, was coming. So yeah, there was a moment where it probably peaked for her.
To protect my daughter's rapist.
Oh wait! I wanted to hear that.
Throughout this whole process, and for the few of you who reached out to us personally out of concern for the things that were happening with my daughter and with the Hallelujah Scriptures, I want to thank you sincerely. We never felt more abandoned in our lives. And Adam helped protect my daughter's rapist. Aaron Parks sexually assaulted my daughter at Parable of the Vineyard, attempted to keep her drugged and out of her mind,
Okay, so I know I paused that, but I just had to like let it flow again and just see exactly, because there's a difference there. And I'll point out that when she's trying to put the weight of the situation on Adam, Adam protects her daughter's rapist. Aaron is no longer Aaron, he's no longer her cousin. When we're talking about how Adam is reacting to Aaron, Adam is protecting her daughter's rapist because she has an agenda regarding Adam. Now, if this is true, I don't give a fuck about Adam. I'm not worried about her having an agenda against my daughter's rapist, or yeah. Sorry, making sure I didn't twist myself around. But yeah, I obviously don't. But my feelings on the matter are not going to switch back and forth. But right now, I'm in this freaking. I've already. This isn't about me, but I'm just in this weird position because it's not like this is out of my hands. This is stuff I've already put in my fight to help prevent, and I never slacked off in doing what was in my power to do. And it's not something I want for my daughter or any of my children to go through, but it's out of my hands. And somehow that's numbing to an extent. Like I can't explain it, but I'm certainly not going to be careful about how I describe my feelings about that. The thing is this isn't my story to tell. I wasn't there. I'm hearing it from her. This is her story to tell. It's my daughter, but she's the one telling the story.
Had her put into 2 mental hospitals. Well, the first one he didn't do technically, although he was there and didn't tell me. They kept the information from me.
Okay, so I got to interrupt again. I don't know how, had I been there in real time and learned this, I don't know. I'm not one of those fathers that can declare, one of those people that would declare that I would freaking kill somebody, I'd freaking cut their nutsack off, hang it from the neighbor's tree. None of that bullshit that people talk about in bravado or true disgust or whatever. And the reason I'm not that guy is because I still have other kids that I need to stay out of jail for. I've got more responsibilities than just one kid, so I have to, whether I have to carry on, and I need to. I also pursued the best, and through trial by fire, and this bitch has brought a lot of that fire. The only good option when people do you wrong is to let it go as quickly and as fully and completely as possible. Now, forgive and forget is absolute bullshit. You are not under any obligation to be a fool towards somebody that is wrong. You are under no obligation to resubject yourself to their bullshit. You are under no obligation to forget. But to forgive is for yourself. You don't even have to worry about whether it's sin or not. If you want to have a good life, if you are a victim and you don't want to be, you forgive. That's for you. That's for me. And even when something unthinkable against my own kids, that's still for me. That's still for my kid that was affected. If they're there to help heal, thank God. That's more than some parents get when their kids are done wrong. And it's there for my other kids who I don't want to have their lives destroyed by, I don't want one rapist to destroy all my kids in one shot just because I can't control myself. So I don't know how in real time, if I was there, I don't know what I would do, if anything. I don't know what my gut reaction would actually be if the raw emotions hit while there was a chance to react with those raw emotions. I don't know. Because doing what's best, period, is my priority. And I've been taught that by life time and time and time again. But I digress. I now forgot exactly where she was stopping with this. So let's try to press play and carry on.
Made our situation with Hallelujah Scriptures even worse, where we were stranded. Aaron had promised to help, to come drive back and help us with getting groceries and getting our truck.
I bet you somebody that knows how to read language could tell you stuff about that. What she's doing right now, I bet it's very revealing. But I'm not that professional.
I'm not going to get into all of those details.
I just know Tricia don't have to know
confess that I
bullshit.
am still struggling with anger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But after the conspiracy,
And it shows. You just barely hold yourself back. It's clear that you're just... I'm struggling with anger, guys, with this. Like, I would want to keep this as simple as possible, let it play out, actually get this done. I want to do more than just this tonight. And I still have to run my mouth quite a bit. This is not going well for me. This bitch is not checking any anger at the moment. If there's any anger, it's not anywhere near what it should be, and it's not about anything that's happened to my kids. It's about something that happened to her game plan or her agenda or her hopes and dreams, period.
Sea of Silence video. There's some things from that I have to address because I personally witnessed the opposite of what Adam was claiming. Adam Fink, or Adam Garfinkel, whatever his real name is, bald-faced lied.
Again, what's with that? I had known from any other searching that his name wasn't Adam Fink. Everybody else that's talked about him, tried to expose this crap, which needs to be exposed, is going on in this little bullshit cult, have simply called him by Adam Fink. But she goes that extra effort to try to just to expose the fact. She's basically trying to dox him. Like, she's doxing him right there. That his actual name is Garfunkel or something like that. She may know exactly what his name is, but she just had to put it out there and make it sound like she wasn't, so it'll be your idea to Google it, find out who he really is, look him up.
I'm not going to get into all of those details. I confess that put into 2 mental hospitals. Well, the first one he didn't do technically, although he was there. Things that were happening with my daughter have been wonderful friends and mishpocha throughout this whole process. And for the few of you who reached out to us personally out of concern for the things that were happening with my daughter and with the Hallelujah Scriptures, I want to thank you sincerely. We never felt more abandoned in our lives. And Adam helped protect my daughter's rapist. Aaron Parks sexually assaulted my daughter at Parable of the Vineyard, attempted to keep her drugged and out of her mind, had her put into 2 mental hospitals. Well, the first one he didn't do technically, although he was there and didn't tell me. They kept the information from me. Made our situation with Hallelujah Scriptures even worse, where we were stranded. Things that were happening with throughout this whole process. And for the few of you who reached out to us personally out of concern for the things that were happening with my daughter and with the Hallelujah Scriptures, I want to thank you sincerely. We never felt more abandoned in our lives.
I'm not meaning to jump back this far.
And Adam helped protect my daughter's rapist. Aaron Parks sexually assaulted my daughter at Parable of the Vineyard, attempted to keep her drugged and out of her mind, had her put into 2 mental hospitals. Well, the first one he didn't do technically, although he was there and didn't tell me.
Had her put into the 2 hospitals, but he didn't do the first one technically, although he was there and didn't tell me. Wait, Aaron, right? So if Aaron didn't do it, who did it? Did she check herself in? What the hell is even going on with that? The mental hospital stuff. That's crazy. And why? Hang on. I hate to have to turn it on, but it's burning up in here. Excuse me. Alright, so I gotta let this play out, but why? I guess there's more times, excuse me, to react to reactions, or if she doesn't take this down right away, react again. Maybe cover some new details. I don't know, but why? It's so weird. There's something not adding up to that too. Like, why does she have to be drugged? I know some people are like, oh, she was just drugged. She's just telling you what happened, but she's not. She's trying to, like. There's something weird about this. Like, he had her put it in 2. Well, not the first one. He was just there. So, anyways, like, what's going
kept
on?
the information from me. Made our situation with Hallelujah Scriptures even worse, where we were stranded. Aaron had promised to help, to come drive back and help us with getting groceries and getting our truck. I'm not going to get into all of those details. I confess that I am still struggling with anger.
Oh, okay. So I was like, I mean, it's not literally. I'm gonna resist backtracking on that to put that back together, but she's the whole I'm still dealing with anger is supposedly why she's having to skip all those details right now. There we go. So, yeah. Hey, it works. I mean, she's skipping a lot of details, and I'm saying way too much for every little thing I pause for, right? So, I'm gonna look. I don't remember the last time I interacted with Allison, but I'm kind of wondering if it could have coincided with one of these times. Dang it. What is my problem, man? I'm like trying to do something and I'm not doing it. Let's see. All right. So we're talking about going back to March for the eviction nonsense, right? But wait a minute. So like, okay, to hear her tell it here and not watch the other video, and I could be wrong. It may just be the wrong impression that I got. But the impression I got the first time I heard this through, and I really only, I don't even know if I've seen this all the way through. Like, I can only stomach so much. Like, I heard like enough at the moment. I can't believe this is out there, but sorry, I'm just spacing. I'm not trying to look emotional or anything. I'm just spacing, but but I don't know if I'm gonna recover that point of thought. Now, crap. And then just to say that put me even further away. Oh yeah. Sorry, God. Um, from this video alone, I had the impression like this situation with Allison occurred after that situation with Hallelujah Scriptures. But what she's describing now sounds like pretty much pretty early on in that situation involving with the Hallelujah Scriptures, as far as from the eviction point or something. Like they came in to grab Aaron like fairly quickly or whatever. Anyways, I don't know if I'm, but now it's sounding likely like this had already occurred. That's important.
Daughter's rapist.
Oh shit. Okay, but
Aaron Parks
okay,
sexually assaulted my daughter. And
right,
Adam
here, let's hear this out.
helped protect my daughter's rapist.
Oh.
Aaron Parks sexually assaulted my daughter at Parable of the Vineyard, attempted to keep her drugged and out of her mind, had her put into 2 mental hospitals. Well, the first one he didn't do technically, although he was there and didn't tell me.
Ping pong,
They
ping
kept
pong.
the information from me. Made our situation with Hallelujah Scriptures even worse, where we were stranded. Aaron had promised to help, to come drive back and help us with getting groceries and getting our truck.
Okay. Yes. So I've talked about that, but this is even. You've got to look up. She wants you to as well. Look up that shit about the Hallelujah Scriptures and her testimony about that and stuff. Look at that. While she's talking to that guy and stuff, this was going on, and she kind of kept this on the down low. And then, but if you hear her, she doesn't sound like she's that distraught. She talks about how the help that she got for that helped with the situation, but she left it unknown. But if you hear her tone, doesn't jive with the gravity. And it doesn't mean that the gravity wasn't there. It just means that the gravity for her wasn't there. Whether this rape actually took place, which is highly possible, or if it didn't, which is highly possible, regardless, it didn't affect her the way that it should have, period. And it's self-evident in that video. I don't know exactly how a person would negotiate that, to be in this predicament with one source of your drama while having something horrendous like that happen from another source of drama, all within the same overview of your overall cult. I don't know how that would all play out, even if it was all true. But regardless of how it actually plays out, if you go watch those other interviews, there's a part 1 and part 2 of the one I'm referring to. There's different clips, different stuff, but anyways, just look it up. And regardless, her tone when referencing this situation under those terms, and even throughout the whole thing, that whole tone is not conducive to what she's trying to allege happened here or describe here. So if it really happened, it just shows you how sick she is to not really care. If it didn't happen, it just shows you how sick she is that she's got an agenda that's willing to take it that far, not only against this Fink guy and Aaron, but, you know, and I'm not here to defend any of them, but there's some bullshit going on here. And I don't think anybody wants to call her out for it, because the only people that have paid any attention to this drama are in her freaking cult.
I'm not going to get into all of those details. I confess that I am still struggling with anger. But after the Conspiracy of Silence video, there's some things from that I have to address.
Okay, so anyways, I know that this was like March of last year or so. let's see. So I was expecting I last interacted with Allison from her number, but oh my God. Okay. So see, I could bring a lot of stuff to bear to this, and I'm not. I know this isn't the time to try to get into all of that, but the um, this is one of the last interactions with Allison. It's been over a year now, or no, almost a year, all about a year. But okay, so her last. Okay, so all right, just to let you know, a little bit of background here. The last thing that I'm pretty sure this is the last thing I've heard from Allison was, "Hello, I'm 19 and still here. Allison, these messages are funny, but I'm done with them now. Just thought I'd point out that I'm in fact here. This is Mom's phone, laughing my ass off." Or LMAO. And I responded to her, said, "No point in you texting me then," or sorry, no, God, I needed some new glasses, but "no point in you texting me then. Your age is just trivia to me. You're an adult, but always impress me as still quite immature when you text. Some women just want to be manipulative frauds and hate men without cause. I guess you have chosen to be one of those. A condition in order to have a relationship with your mom, I guess. Whatever. The ball is in your court. You have known that for years and seem to want no relationship. I don't need a fake one, so suit yourself." And that is where I've left things with my daughter. Like, she's not giving me there's no indication that anything's changing for anything authentic to be rekindled. And I have no need for a fake relationship with my daughter. I love her. That doesn't change, but it's all on hold. And I had to do that to protect my own self. And that's another tangent on how this hit me when these changes occurred. But so Tricia sent me this link. Oh, sorry. See, I have it saved as Tricia's 918 number, and miraculously this one stuck around. I won't fully dox her. I thought about it, but I forget that. Anyways, I don't dox people, and I don't really think about doxing. I mean, I haven't mentioned it, but yeah, never mind. Like, I almost did it, and I wasn't really comprehending the scope of just doxing. It's not cool. All right. But anyway, she sent me a random message. I have no idea what brought this about, as far as the timing or anything. So it said, "Please repent and keep Yah's Torah. Please seek Him, and He doesn't hate the world for being a gay. Doesn't hate the world for being a gay person. Forgive me, please, for condemnation of you, for that. A sodomite is one who commits Ezekiel 16:49. Time's running out. Please repent and do the first works." February 14th, 2023, and this time's out with this crap falling apart there. Like, what the hell? But she sent me a YouTube video that I had no idea what this was about. Out of the blue.
Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. Today is...
And it's for You Be Ready. Prophecy Rockets Galore. So I didn't watch it. I'm like, I got no need for, if I wanted to be in a cult and have a cult leader, I would choose my own. Thank you very much. I certainly wouldn't let Tricia be the starting point for my discovery. So anyways, so I didn't watch it, but because I'm supposed to be this horrible, horrible person, and everyone just takes that for granted, and nobody thinks like, wow, I've heard this story with zero proof. So hello guys, I'm the horrible person. For those of you that are coming from her circle, You know nothing about me other than, well, I don't even know what you know about me. You'd have to let me know how horrible I actually am. Uh, I didn't even know to. So I'm so used to her lies, or I was so used to her lies being primarily twisting the truth into a complete and total lie. But she loved to leave this little hook so that, and it worked for me flawlessly until somebody pointed it out, is to try to get you to explain something so you sound guilty. You're trying to, you can't deny it outright because there's this little freaking twisted link to truth, and you're trying to like be honest. So you're like, well, it was this, but it wasn't that. It was this, and the whole point of the shtick is to make you sound like make you sound guilty, and then trying to explain it away. When in reality, you're just trying to be fucking honest, and you're not guilty at all. And once I was made wise to that, I came to expect that to be her modus operandi. And then one day I tried to take my girls for some counseling, and I went to Parkside in Tulsa, where I went as a teen and young adult, and I just knew, it was as good as any. There had been some issues with the local counselors, so I took them there. And anyways, there's a whole rigmarole around it. But I could not believe how condescending the lady doing the intake was to me. I was just taken aback. I was like, how are they not on my side and taking this? And it wasn't really until after the whole custody thing was decided, after they lied to the judge, long after they lied to the judge, that one day it was kind of like, oh, I have no fucking idea what they were saying about me. It never crossed my mind that that they could have been saying something so horrendous that lady hated my guts by default. I just thought she had some kind of agenda of her own. I had issues with that lady. I was like, she had no business being in that job. And she still probably doesn't, because she just wasn't a match for their crap. But, yeah, crazy. All right. That said, okay, so my response to her, though, telling me to repent for being a gay person or whatever, I said, how about you work on your own adultery, or you work on your adultery and keep me out of your cult BS. I said, of course, you probably reinvented everything regarding marriage to fit yourself, as if you had any real faith or intent to actually live anything you put on others anyways. But what you are, without dispute, is the queen of false witness. Here we go. This is my last interaction with her. This is the last thing I've ever texted Tricia. And now here we are speaking about her witness video. Okay, so I'm not just talking about lies, though you're a master of them too. I'm talking about straight up false witness of me and most likely many others. You do it to steal, kill, and destroy, just like your daddy, the devil. Or maybe you didn't mean to text me, but your sister? Because her sister's a lesbian. Oh wait, you probably justified your relations with Summer, so perhaps female to female is something you don't revisit for yourself. In any case, thank you for getting the kids to lie to the judge. To be clear, that isn't sarcasm. It's a genuine thanks. I had them figured wrong, and love is truly blind, to the point that I'm embarrassed with recounting various events because of all of the flags I missed. Of course, the difference is now I know the truth, and indeed the truth sets us free. When I learned about narcissism being a lost cause and separation being the only option of possible, not sure, I didn't have to agonize over any decisions because the separation was chosen for me. I don't know why my grammar is weird there, but and I had already adjusted to it. But that's okay. So my point is, when I actually started to learn about narcissism and how, anyways, like, I didn't have to agonize over the fact that I needed to get away from it, but to choose to be separate from my kids. by my choice alone, I just can't imagine. But it wasn't mine to have to do. So I appreciate you being stupid today. You caused me to remember just how much I have to be grateful for from the aftermath of all that happened. And again, that was February 14th, Valentine's Day. What the hell? Why is she texting me randomly on Valentine's Day? Like this, if we scroll back, this is like out of freaking nowhere. Well, I mean, she'll blindside me with crap, but it's usually some kind of agenda fired up. That just made no sense. All right. And then on May 27th, oh my God, this May 27th was either, I think it was her birthday, or it's really close to her birthday. I think April 27th or 28th or something was what our anniversary was. I don't remember. It's not my job to remember anymore. I don't care. But it's one of those. It's one way or the other between the two. Pretty sure, whichever closer to Labor Day or Memorial Day, whichever one's there, my God, I know nothing all of a sudden, is the one that's close. That's her birthday. The one that's a month prior, that would be the date of our anniversary. Well, it used to be our anniversary. Anyways, I had no idea that this was timing out with anything other than just the fact that, wow, I just discovered that in spite of your efforts to the contrary, you have brought me more happiness in life than misery. I just passed the observation point apartments and remembered with intensity when we first met. I don't know what it was truly for you, but for me, it was amazing and even dreamy. Regardless, you fucked up. If you were always fake, you failed in your schemes. If you once were real, you fucked off something great for no reason at all. That's all. That's all. Have a great day. So that was my random text to her. And that was my last interactions with Tricia, and prior to that, Allison. And it's significant because that is one thing I want to point out. She brings it up later about Allison regressing, and Allison has never progressed as far as her maturity impression. So, all right, this is not working. I'm wanting to get this whole thing on record, and I'm destroying that goal.
Because I personally witnessed the opposite of what Adam was claiming. Adam Fink, or Adam Garfinkel, whatever his real name is.
See, wants to dox him.
Bald-faced lied in that video.
Wait, what video?
And I want to encourage anyone who truly does care about the truth. If you disagreed with that video in the beginning, pray about it and watch it again and ask for Yah to show you what you need to see. That's what I did before I even watched the video in the beginning. I want to say...
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, guys. I don't recall what video.
Things from that I have to address. Because I personally witnessed the opposite of what Adam was. I'm not going to get into all of those details. I confess that I am still struggling with anger. But after the Conspiracy of Silence video...
Conspiracy of Silence.
There's some things from that I have to address. Because I personally witnessed the opposite of what Adam was claiming. Adam Fink, or Adam Garfinkel, whatever his real name is, bald-faced lied in that video. And I want to encourage anyone who truly does care about the truth. If you disagreed with that video in the beginning, pray about it, and watch it again, and ask for Yah to show you what you need to see. That's what I did before I even watched the video in the beginning.
Quit talking about videos. I'm trying to look at the one you mentioned.
My cousin considers Parable of the Vineyard his home assembly. Like, that's his assembly. I never considered it mine. I was there for a short time. I was considering it. But when I got there,
this is sketchy.
I can tell you from my personal perspective, I had followed Adam Fink, Parable of the Vineyard YouTube channel, which I found through Rob Skiba. I had followed him for a couple of years and listened to him ever since Rob Skiba's passing. I had listened to Adam Fink every Shabbat. Every video he put out, we listened to it at least once. So the teachings on YouTube, I mostly didn't find any problems
Nathan
with.
Reynolds, okay.
I learned a lot, and it seemed fairly balanced. The Adam Fink in person is not the same Adam Fink from YouTube.
Oh, I can
Even his voice
chat.
is different. On YouTube, he sounds very lighthearted and humble and easygoing, and in person, there's this anger that seems to be seething under the surface. And one of the things that he had begun doing when my daughter was there that made her and some others very uncomfortable was not allowing them to go in and out of the front door during Shabbat. And I understand wanting to keep down disturbances, but they posted a 17-year-old boy at the door as a guard, and he was preventing these girls were over 18, preventing them from going in.
Okay, so I'm going to let this play a little bit. I'm trying to find, sorry, I need to speak up a little bit, so
you can't do that. If
I'm mostly
you
going
don't
to do this for
want
my
them in there
record.
because my daughter had
Want to
a
avoid
service dog,
takedown
and
risks
she has
if
a lot
possible.
of anxiety, especially with the types of men that wander around Parable,
Looks like
eyeballing
from-
all of the
let's
new meat that shows up.
meat.
Because my daughter's got ogled there, big time.
Ogle. Yep, sounds like a cult. That's why
My daughter's
people
not
join
doing
cults. There's a few that are suckers, and there's
Now,
a lot more that are
I
like
do also
have their agendas.
really quickly want to address, there was a young
Right.
girl
Oh, another
from
aside.
Parable of the Vineyard who made a TikTok video.
Oh, wait, I do want to know
She's
about
a young
this.
woman now, from what I understand. She's
Okay, hang on. There's not enough information here. I can't find. If anybody knows about that, I want to know about that TikTok video. Hang on. Dadgummit, where did the chat go? I should already have a chat open, but let me try it again on the docs. It was open, but it's hidden. Come on. It's supposed to be not docs as in DOX, but docs as in DOCK. Why? It's like stuck on this whole other screen. I'm not able to put it with my OBS. Okay, so I posted a link to the video she just referenced, The Conspiracy of Silence, in the chat. Oops.
married with a baby, but she made a TikTok video about daughters were not the only ones.
All right, hang on.
Now, I do also really quickly want to address, there was a young girl from Parable of the Vineyard who made a TikTok video. She's a young woman now, from what I understand. She's married with a baby, but she made a TikTok video about the situation with my daughter and Aaron specifically, and said that she didn't think it was, she thought that that was a false rumor, that my daughter was sexually assaulted by Aaron, and that he had been asking for DNA tests and that we had been refusing. So I want to clear that up.
Okay,
That man has not once, Aaron specifically, and my daughters were not the only ones. Now, I do also really quickly
this
want to
wording is
address, there was
weird.
a young girl from Parable of the Vineyard who made a TikTok video. She's a young woman now, from what I understand. She's married with a baby, but she made a TikTok video about the situation with my daughter and Aaron specifically, and said that she didn't think it was, she thought that that was a false rumor, that my daughter was sexually assaulted by Aaron, and that he had been asking for DNA tests and that we had been refusing. So I want to clear that up. That man has not once voluntarily spoken to us, nor his wife, nor his mother-in-law, since this happened. In fact, the day I picked her up from the second hospital, that man has not said that she didn't think it
Okay. Hang on. I'm trying to.
was a service dog, and she has a lot of anxiety preventing them from going in and out. That's illegal. You can't do that. If you don't want them in there because my daughter had a service dog, and she has a lot of anxiety, especially with the types of men that wander around Parable, eyeballing all of the new meat that shows up. Because my daughter's got ogled there, big time.
So this is something I wanted to point out earlier, that this needs to be called out. She, through all of this, she's a victim, right? This stuff, this was, these creeps. Again, she's doing some kind of balancing act. She's trying to be as passive aggressive as possible, trying to make it seem like she's not trying to stir the pot too much. She's trying to make it seem like she's trying to go the proper route with the religion, the Matthew 18, whatever else they're talking about, right? That's her, but she's putting in enough there, so she definitely wants dots to be connected differently, but she doesn't want you to think that that was her agenda. That's why this is all strange. And I already know this. I know this going in. I don't know how much a sensible person should be catching right off the bat. I mean, I was dumb enough to marry her and be married to her for 10 years and be blindsided by a divorce when she really was this way all along. So I honestly can't say how much of this should be caught on to, but there's definitely true outrage over, there's definitely, it shouldn't be to this point. The fact that the people are letting her put this out there. There's a guy that's been trying all about exposing Adam Fink, goes by, the bullet point, final whatever the hell. But anyways, he has a post commending her for this. There's nothing commendable about this. She's not exposing anybody. This is a woman that failed her children at the very least. Miserably failed her daughter. And very half-ass saying something about it, which means she's still failing her daughter because this occurred. Damn it, there's reasons why it's illegal. And she's failing everyone else's kids. You don't pussyfoot about this shit. You get that guy taken care of. And I could tell you this woman, more than most, knows just how far even a fucking lie can go without evidence. So if this was something that needed to be dealt with, she could get it dealt with. And she's pussyfooting about it. Why? I don't know. I don't fully understand. I don't know all the dynamics about this. I don't know anything. For me, it's just kind of a generic. It's really just the same song, a different verse. That's the way I'm seeing it. I don't know if there's anything more to it than that. Honestly, it's a unique verse. It's a different and unique verse in parts, but definitely the same song. This is the Hebrew roots song through Tricia's version. This is the game that she plays with Hebrew roots, and this is what my children should have known to not subject themselves to. That they supposedly no longer remembered the abuse. I've got them on video, and everybody knew that the call was being recorded when she first turned up, only because she got dinged for child support. That's the only reason she turned up, after abandoning the kids to run away from any potential accountability for abusing my kids. They're confronting her on their own words, of their own will,
And my daughter's
of their own thoughts, their own concerns about her abuse, trying to get her to acknowledge any of it. And then later on, supposedly they don't remember a thing. And then they reach a point that supposedly they're convinced that I was just putting that into their heads all along. And worse yet, well, shoot, okay, it gets worse. It gets worse. I'm not even trying to tell my story yet. I'm not even beginning to, and it's already this bad. All right. What the heck else was I researching? I don't know. Okay, I'll just let it go. We've got to let this play.
Now, I do also really quickly want to address, there was a young girl from Parable of the Vineyard who made a TikTok video. She's a young woman now, from what I understand. She's married with a baby, but she made a TikTok video about the situation with my daughter and Aaron specifically, and said that she didn't think it was, she thought that that was a false rumor, that my daughter was sexually assaulted by Aaron, and that he had been asking for DNA tests and that we had been refusing.
Just so, the way she put that was weird. It was hard to find out. She said that she thought that was a false rumor, that my daughter was sexually, it almost sounds like she's saying that she thought it was a rumor that Aaron sexually assaulted Allison. Okay, let's do it again, but I'll just try to let it play out.
Big time. And my daughters were not the only ones. Now, I do also...
Just seeing other videos exposing this place, that's obvious. Every child there was ogled, or worse.
Parable of the Vineyard, who made a TikTok
It's still
video.
her.
She's a young woman now, from what I understand. She's married with a baby, but she made a TikTok video about the situation with my daughter and Aaron specifically, and said that she didn't think it was, she thought that that was a false rumor, that my daughter was sexually assaulted by Aaron, and that he had been asking for DNA tests and that we had been refusing. So I want to clear that up.
I don't know what to make of the way she words that, because like I'm sitting there trying to figure out, follow along, kind of, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on myself, and it's weird. The way she pauses, it's almost as if she's saying that she didn't believe that. It's almost like she's saying that. Oh God, I don't know. It's weird. Okay, I'm gonna let it go, but maybe other people are catching on to that. That's just weird the way that that's worded. It's almost like, I don't know if it's just complete coincidence that it should just pause in the wrong spot, or if she actually started to lose track of the point she was trying to invent. But then again, she is referencing a TikTok video that's supposed to be out there. If anybody knows what she's talking about, if you were participating, if you're finding my video and you were more intimately aware of this actual situation, I know it's been some time, but if there's any chance in hell that you can help me find that TikTok, I would sure like to see it. That's another angle on this allegation or event, whatever it is, that I would like the opportunity to process. Whether it helps me or not, it's just, it can't hurt to have more stuff to work with, whether it actually gets me closer to the truth or not. At least there's evidence out there to factor in. Okay.
That man has not once voluntarily spoken to us, nor his wife, nor his mother-in-law, since this happened. In fact, the day I picked her up from the second hospital and showed up at Parable at Camp Tomahawk to get her animals, who were in deplorable conditions, actually being tortured.
Okay, and again on this stuff, a lot of this I hear where she's making it sound like they're victims and people just being so horrible and stuff. I mean, yeah. Well, first off, whose responsibility was it for those animals? When she's talking about deplorable conditions, you're talking about people who didn't make the decision to take on those animals, but Allison brought her along. They're in these videos that she says to look up with the regarding the scripture ordeal. They're literally talking about the struggle of helping them find a place to go. And at one point they're mentioning they had like 10 dogs and I think 4 cats. Which, I mean, at one point my daughter was telling me that she got to have all these animals and stuff like that. So apparently, probably only made possible by this crazy deal out in the country, which honestly, it's not completely. She runs with any opportunity to cut a corner. I mean, anyways, okay. So anybody paying attention to this would just be flabbergasted by the similarities to what actually happened. Yeah. Remember, this is a woman out there that's supposed to be all set apart and special and stuff, but yet she's already been pre-divorced and, supposed to be the victim and all that. She didn't learn anything from that. She was a victim of sexual assault when she was a kid. And she literally leaves her daughter to be raped by the son of her rapist. Really? And then she's been in and out of these cult circles how many times? And I mean, according to this Hallelujah situation, they just start the story when she accepts their offer, but they don't delve into her part of that. They barely get into asking whether she was married or not initially. And anyways, like that's kind of, she's supposed to be this unfortunate victim and stuff, but this is supposed to all be about what's right, important in this religion and stuff, and yet somehow all these principles and things that are supposed to matter get washed right over. I'll be right back.
Mic off. Mic on.
You ran over a Stanley Cup?
No, like Nyan cat.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Aiden bomb
That was crazy. Okay. Hey, you're welcome to come in here if you need to, but just know this is someone I'm working with. I don't come in here and game and be screaming necessarily, but you can come talk to me. In the meantime, I'm not keeping this as concise as I needed to. Love you, Bob. Okay. I gotta add some more light. All right. So I just want to check on my boy. I did not plan to be this long about this. All right.
She lost her little dog. This girl is the one who was supposedly taking care of her when she's missing. I went to Adam about some of these issues and a lot of missing property. My daughter came home with no.
So what was missing? Was Allison missing, or was her dog missing? And was this lady taking, I guess then girl, now lady, taking care of Allison's dog while Allison was missing, or was she taking care of Allison's dog while Allison's dog was missing? I guess and they didn't know she had it. I have no idea. Tricia, tell your stories better. Come on. You're making this up as you go. Make sure you've got the proper supporting details.
Underwear whatsoever.
Proof listen
on the girls,
and publish.
the youth that she was staying with previously.
She probably did proof listen.
There was repeated sexual assault, forced touching, and inappropriate touching for the entire time she stayed with him in the borrowed camper that he ruined that belonged to another sister in the fellowship. They don't take care of their things. They're not responsible with their own child.
Oh yeah, this is something that got
their
my
own
attention
living
earlier.
situation. Adam knows touching, and
Okay.
this happened. In
Hang on.
fact,
Okay, so sorry. I think she's just looking at a phone in front of her, so she's just doing this on the phone. She needs to work on lighting. when you don't have proper lighting in a studio setup, you know, it happens. You're supposed to use your car in broad daylight. Go out to your car. Oh, wait, she hasn't been responsible enough to have a car. Shit. You're screwed. You need to get your act together, Tricia. All right. Anyway, no, but seriously, that's why people do all these little car vlogs. It's literally in the daytime. That is some of the easiest, simplest lighting, sound studio. It's great for quick, simple. That's why people do it. It works. So next time you're trying to persuade people through video, Tricia, see if you can borrow someone else's car for a few minutes. All right. So I got to. Okay, so we'll let the dog thing ride. Other than, okay, guys, I was supposed to be this horrible, horrible person, and it's supposed to be such life-changing things for her, for all these kids to be now safe from me and in her care. They're supposed to be so much happier now. And yet, my daughter has to have a comfort animal, and she's got all this trauma going on, all this nervousness, and she's just this wreck. I'll show you plenty of videos from my last interactions with her. She wasn't a wreck. And this is a new development. And I'm telling you, it could be partially true, but if it's true, it's because this is how important it is. They're living this lie so much that they're getting it in their head. And anyways, the bottom line is, if it was me and she loved them and was trying to get them recovered, she would be getting them recovered. And if you can't do it in 5.5 years, what the fuck is your problem? Maybe it's time to play a little less cult and a lot more fucking mom. Like genuine mom. Love your fucking kids, bitch. Quit using them to be a check and your freaking way to negotiate this life without being responsible. This woman can freaking fool anybody. She can land freaking good paying jobs because she's ruthless. And fast food joints love that in managers. They want somebody that will smile to your face and fuck you over when the schedule needs you to be fucked over. She's that bitch. You will think she's your best fucking friend, and she could be giving you hours so you can feed your kids, and she will cut them and act like she can't control it. But she'll do it because for her, that'll be another $10 bonus. She is that kind of bitch. She can get a good paying fucking job, and that is exactly what she does to do it. She doesn't even have a legitimate diploma, but it doesn't fucking matter. She gets general management jobs if she wants them because of that. And yet she would rather do this cockamamie bullshit. I don't know why. The power trip of having those jobs should suit her, and she gets paid good for it, and nobody calls her out on her shit. I don't understand why she doesn't want to keep doing that. It ought to be easier and better than the trying to play this fucking use other people game full fucking time. I don't know what makes her tick. And I don't know why she wants to destroy me. Like, she got what she wanted eventually. She didn't get it at first. It always stayed by her rules. If I would have missed a single hearing during that divorce that she started, and a blind sign to me, if I would have missed any fucking hearing, they would have railroaded me right then and there. She fucking abandoned the kids. Her abuse of them came to light in the meantime, and it took me 3 years, more than 3 years, to get that divorce to move forward. I was kept in limbo. There was 3 years that I didn't get any child support that was none ordered or anything like that. I'm saying 3 years. Maybe that's where the confusion came. Anyways, I bought my house in 2015, and the separation from her, ultimately the divorce, happened in 2011, I believe. So, or was it 2012? It may have been 20. God damn it. I don't try to dwell on these dates. I know the separation occurred the day before my birthday, and that was calculated by her. You know, that's what I remember. The year didn't fucking matter. One year's rather than the next. But anyways, she got to do it her way. And finally, barely in the nick of time after I had to get extensions and stuff like that, so I could close on my house, finally got the divorce through. And thank God the banks don't take any chances with that shit. Because I was dumb enough at the time to think that she wasn't looking back. And I was wrong. And then when she came back, I got text messages. She was trying to scheme to get my fucking house. She conspired with my son's mom. Late wife, but complicated. Anyways, this isn't supposed to be about me completely, but this is still about her. This is shit she did. Literally had a conspiracy. There's a chance that she actually killed my son's mom. And when I laid that out to my workman's comp lawyer at the time, the head lawyer at my workman's comp law firm was lifelong friends with my son's mom's main doctor. And he was stunned to hear that she died because of his usual success rate. I'm like, you know, shit happens. But when I mentioned the case, and I kind of bounced it off. I was going through a lot. I felt overall kind of fine, but when I was talking, I'd be rambling a lot and stuff, and that was kind of like that. I eventually learned that was my first sign that, yeah, I was having more trouble than I thought. So I ran it past him, you know, just hoping to get about, but they didn't. They said it was zero crazy. When I mentioned when I made out the case, the dots that connect to the possibility that she is responsible for the unexpected death of my son's mom, they agreed. But granted, we're talking about a leukemia patient with all kinds of health issues and stuff like that. They say like if you want to kill somebody, get away with it, kill a junkie or whatever. Now, the reasons for getting away with a leukemia patient with diabetes and whatnot are pretty damn similar. You'd have a hard-ass time making a case that it wasn't just the odds catching up, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to say. But anyways, they concurred that I wasn't crazy for that. And that's still another story. And at the time that was alleged, like it was my stepdaughter that actually first brought that up as a possibility, and I was like, why? Why would Tricia want anything to happen to her? Like that didn't help her case. The two of them together were railroading me. But it was because she was out of the way. There was a couple different reasons, but one of them was her being out of the way and locked it in. Like Rebecca couldn't back out of her part of the conspiracy. If she died, she would lock in her last known position on the matter. And the whole point was Rebecca wanted to steal the house for herself. That was kind of her goal when we met, and there's stuff in hindsight that shows that. And there was no way she was going to get this house, like the way the courts work. The mothers are default shoe-ins for their kids, but if she only got Matthew and I still had my other 4, she wasn't going to get the house because they're not going to kick 4 kids out of a house to give it to this single woman with cancer and 1 kid that she can't even raise herself. And so that was why there was a conspiracy. Rebecca was trying to get the house. She needed to help Tricia get the kid.
Mic on. Mic feedback off. Charging battery. Mic off. Mic on.
The day I picked her up from the second hospital.
Okay, sorry, before I resume
Mic
playing,
on.
I had to get
Mic
this audio working.
feedback off.
This is not
Charging
good. How
battery.
long have I been at this? Okay, so I'm going to split the video that I'm recording into 2 parts, I think. So just 1 moment. I'll stop recording. And now I'm starting to record again. So the recording side has just now been split, but the streaming is staying going as you see. All right, now let's resume this nonsense. I'm only 11 minutes in.
And showed up at Paravel at Camp Tomahawk to get her animals who were in deplorable conditions actually being tortured.
Okay, so again on this, it's not good that the animals are in deplorable conditions, but you gotta realize the one that's supposed to be responsible for those animals ultimately is her. Now that could be that the kids are supposed to have their individual responsibilities for them, that's fine, but ultimately before she allows them that, she ultimately takes responsibility that if those kids don't meet their end of the bargain, she's gotta make sure those animals are cared for or get them rehomed or whatever was already prearranged. I still have the animals that my kids abandoned to pull off what they did to go with her to begin with. So I have my son's dog, and then I have my oldest daughter, Allison, was kind of fickle about animals. So we have, as a family pet, a dog that was her first dog to have as her individual pet. And then we also still have the dog that was the one dog that I actually wanted as a family dog buddy. So I've got 3 dogs, but I would not have chosen 3 dogs for just my son and I. It's just, I'm still caring for the pets that were in my care. The only pets that are not here, that were here when this happened, is unfortunately one of our birds died, sucks because that bird should have lived for a very long time. That was a very unfortunate incident that happened when I didn't know that I didn't think about the possibility, and my son didn't know any better. And you should not feed cockatiels a bunch of Ritz crackers. And unfortunately, our youngest and sweetest of the two passed. But then the cats that were here originally are all gone. But they were outside cats. It was kind of a matter of time. Anyway, long story. But the cat that we've had a cat now for a couple of years that is now an inside cat because the neighbors who brought him here, thinking it was Allison's cat, then turned around and shot him later on. And it took me a couple months to get him healed up from three broken spots on the front leg. But he's healed up. He actually has his legs. They shot Jake, on the other hand, my son's dog, and he's on 3 legs. But he's coping quite well. And that's the story. So that's what it means to take responsibility for pets. I only had Jake because Ethan was pretty responsible when his dog Duke died. I didn't feel like that was his fault, and he was doing okay, so not through any fault of his own, and that led to him getting another dog. But then he wanted a German Shepherd. I couldn't pull off a full-blood German Shepherd, but Tricia knew some people at the time and was able to pull that off and use that as part of his bribe, part of his payday for joining the conspiracy. And I sure as hell hope it wasn't his dog that Adam Fink shot. But I don't know. But how many of their pets were left abandoned and roaming around this place? I don't know.
She lost her little dog. This girl is the one who was supposedly taking care of her when she's missing. I went to Adam about some of these issues and a lot of missing property. My daughter came home with no underwear whatsoever, and he tries to blame that on the youth that she was staying with previously. There was repeated sexual assault, forced touching, and inappropriate touching for the entire time she stayed with him in the borrowed camper that he ruined that belonged to another sister in the fellowship. They don't take care of their things. They're not responsible with their own child, their own living situation. Adam knows this.
Okay, I've kind of spaced a little bit right there, but a point, the very first time I saw this kind of caught my attention. And I know I'm adding a lot of stuff here, but again, let's get back to the context. This is supposed to be, because supposedly my daughter too, but we're talking about her reaction, her witness here, whether she knows whether this really occurred or not. This is supposed to be her daughter being raped by her nephew, pregnant with his child, and listen to the petty bullshit she's throwing out about them. Is it not enough that he supposedly raped her child? Why is this petty bullshit even relevant? Again, this passive-aggressive bullshit. She's trying to hammer him, but look like she's not trying to hammer him. She's trying to look like she's trying to be humble and sensitive and careful and trying to do this properly, whatever the fuck she's trying to do. But she's manipulating this whole cockamamie bullshit the whole time to accomplish more than that, which calls the whole reality of the whole situation into doubt. What isn't in doubt is she's been a very irresponsible parent that put her kids in very horrendous situations and is the unfit parent, period. Whether my daughter was really raped or not, she was certainly put around people that there's clearly a pattern going on at that place It's clearly not a place for any responsible parent to have children left unattended. And then later on, towards the end, at some point it gets mentioned that in their little cult, you're not considered an adult until 20. What the fuck is that? Your cult has separate, just so they could keep unquestionable power over young adults a little bit longer? And that to buy them some time? That probably was to buy a couple extra years with some children that they already molested. Someone in that mix. That is fucked up. The whole thing's fucked up. It's so fucked up that rapes happen, incest happen. That is fucked up on its own normally, but this situation is really fucked up to the point that, wow, that's not even the story. But it is the story. I don't know, man. This is so weird. Like, I really just want to do enough commentary so this can't be struck down. And I'm going overboard, but there's so freaking much here. And you have no idea how much I've been through over this shit. And I'm trying not to, I can't get it. She says she didn't have time to get into it. I don't have time to get into it. Because when I start to tell, I can't tell anyone my story. Because wait, there's more. No, wait, there's more. No, wait, there's more. It should be fucking enough that I was blindsided by a divorce once, separated from my kids indefinitely for months. Should be enough that I got my kids back after they were abandoned by their mom and abused. Should be enough that she popped up, got custody she shouldn't have had. But no, in the mix of that, there's a freaking toxic second relationship, a cancer battle, a fucking conspiracy between the two women, an attempt to steal my house, and all the residual crap that I've been left with dealing with that, and all the challenges that come from being a single father out here in the middle of nowhere with no child support, stuff like that. This is not, I mean, we're blessed. Don't get me wrong. We're blessed and beyond. This is not a time to be trying to rent anywhere or whatever. But at the same time, this is not the proper situation to choose as a single parent of one child. But that development happened outside of my control. And how did I get on that tangent to that extent? Oh, just this, that it's hard to keep it simple because there is a lot of a tangent here. And I don't give a fuck that they're lying about me at this point. Like, in my opinion, anybody that lets her define me by simply saying some bullshit and that settles the matter for them, I don't give a fuck about that person, period. They're nothing to me. They clearly don't, they're nothing to me. They're freaking, why waste my time worrying about the opinion of somebody that doesn't have any, I mean, is that integrity, principle? I mean, it's a mix, I guess, of them, but fuck them. Supposed to have how many witnesses to let each matter be established by? These religious people are supposed to have guiding fucking principles. And they're just shit for brains. Repeatedly. And you really don't know whether they're stupid or just pretending to be, because that's how they play their little manipulative bullshit game. Tricia's Achilles heel is the fact that she doesn't get called out for this shit. She plays the fact that people don't give a fuck about the actual truth, what's all said and done. They give a fuck. They want to believe what they want to believe, and she puts herself in a position to be the one that they want to believe, and that's all it takes. The actual proof, the details, the holes of the story, none of that shit's going to even matter. It doesn't matter. If they want to believe her, she's golden. She knows that's how this works. She's not alone in knowing that's how this works. Honestly, I don't think I've ever put it together that clearly for myself until just now. I know it works something along those lines. I don't give a fuck. It's not the type of game I play. I'm authentic to a fault. That's what I do. And I got a I've been through a lot of stuff. The one thing I don't want to have to do is keep stories straight. I want to, if I can get a chance to have a real authentic time, enjoy myself or whatever, I want to relax and do that. I don't want to keep up with no fucking personas. I don't want to impress anybody. If they don't like me as I am, fuck them. And I don't really have that. The fuck them is not the first that comes to mind, but for emphasis here, fuck them. But really, I'm just like, whatever. I mean, now I haven't, some of this stuff hasn't always been to that extent. And I'm not always like, I mean, I've got places where people don't know the real me, or I'm being, because I was gaslit by so much stuff going on that when circumstances continue to gaslight me, that's really tough to cope with at this point. Like I'm no longer being gaslit directly by anybody that matters in real time, but some of the circumstances that are set in place that I can't escape still basically gaslight me, because I'm still not getting to come across as who I am. Like it's outside of my control to be who I actually am and get credit for who I am in some of these situations. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I know I experience it. It's triggering, causes me a lot of grief and issues. It's very stressful. And then, anyways, I've got a lot of struggles. I don't put it out there a whole lot because it's a mixed bag. I don't want to give Tricia any satisfaction, and I still can't put. Until I no longer have a minor child in my possession at all, or this woman is dead, I don't know that I could ever be 100% certain that she's not going to come up with some kind of fucking scheme to somehow, out of the blue, fucking cause me more grief. And why the hell she cares to, I don't know. She's got everything she could have possibly wanted by now. But she's going to somehow find something else she fucking wants. Or the destruction is not complete enough. And the destruction was not complete enough. I was supposed to be absolutely ruined. She failed to do that. And part of that is because her plan with the kids worked too well. She missed a golden opportunity she could have totally ruined me had the joint custody, the split custody that the lawyers worked out, because my lawyer was trash. And I didn't know until the day of court for a fact that she was trash. Went straight away in and negotiated a split custody deal that I had to go along with, just because if she wasn't going to fight for me, what choice did I have? The judge threw it out because the kids lied to the judge. And that saved my ass. That has saved my son's future. That has kept us in a home, and that has finally given us a break from weaponized DHS and everything else. We've had to heal from scars and heal from consequences and circumstances and all the crap that came about from that. Had some struggles, but we haven't been under active attack and dire threat, because the kids are no longer here to be her talons in my flesh. And I didn't know that was the role they were serving. In hindsight, I don't know how I couldn't have, other than the fact that, again, when you trust somebody, you can get burned. But if you don't ever know how to trust somebody ever, you get robbed anyways. Shame on them when they burn that trust. And it's the loss of the ability to trust is your loss too. That's why I've been burned more than once. I made it a point to give myself the ability to have a second relationship that was what the first one was supposed to be. Plain and simple. I resisted being hardened so that I could still trust again and just have, and then I got it wrong the second time. I don't have any relationships on the immediate horizon. I just know that, and the years are ticking by. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that I've always kind of had it in mind that there could be maybe a third act. And if that's wrong, that's it. There's no more happily ever after possibility whatsoever. Like, that's just no longer a reasonable pursuit. You still have friends, still make the best out of life, but the solid life companion, role because yeah, I know how great it could be because I was naive enough to think I already had it once. But I need it for real because the consequence of being wrong about it being real are deadly. All right, let's let her blabber on again.
And he knew that I wanted my daughter back. And he said that he had told Aaron that he should bring my daughter back. But then that's where it was left. And
I'm always thinking, I'll just let it play out. Whatever missed, we missed. Oh, fuck. So I'm like, I was missing that part earlier. Like, I wasn't kind of like, how the fuck? What do you mean? Why? How'd you reach a point that he has any say about whether you get your daughter back? Because she's so damn irresponsible, she has no fucking car. No way to transport herself, stuff like that. She's at their fucking mercy. And by the way, with her history of abandonment, there's no telling why my daughter was there without her being there. There was no telling what really happened. Part of that was probably because she wasn't able to provide a roof over their heads. Another thing is my daughter is 19 at the time. So, you know, I don't know how far I'd have to dig back. Probably the prior exchange to the one I just read, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I have messages out of the blue where my daughter was implying that she was no longer with mom, she said. And anyways, but she wasn't, I didn't trust it because she wasn't, like they won't be holding their ground on where they're at if something's changing. Like if there's any change of heart, there's going to be a big change of heart. It don't have to be debated. All right. So, I really hate I didn't want the whole evening to go to this, but man, shit. Why not? I guess at this point, I'm just knocking it out of the park. It needs to be done. I made sure that there's no question marks about where I stand on stuff, to a fault. I believe. Okay, so mine is the white. There's the black. Anyways, okay. It took me a minute to sort that out. Holy crap. All right. Oh, yeah. So I hadn't heard from her in forever. And, oh, wait, this goes, wait a minute, is this? Anyways, Let's see, what's the timing of this? That was mocked. I had a temporary seasonal job that didn't work out, but it was a very low child support payment. And so that's the start of messages on this phone. But she shows me a receipt for $4.86. It's like, thanks. 2 of them might be able to get a veggie burrito from Taco Bell. And I said, I'm not surprised you won't step up for them yourself. My business is none of your business, but your business should be your business. While you were playing your games, I made sure they were well taken care of and without making excuses. But I'm not surprised you do the very least possible, if not even less. Nothing less can be expected from a trash woman who abused and abandoned her kids before finding a new agenda. And then she sent me a smiley face with the, laughing, crying face or whatever. You're smiling because you got away with it? If the kids are suffering now, it's all on you and them for the games that you got them to play. My conscience is clear. I have no regrets. I'm moving on. If the kids decide they want a relationship, they know they can start by reaching out to me and saying they want one, not by making videos for you saying they don't. And they aren't suffering at all. She said they aren't suffering at all. They're having a laugh over your support payment, though. The funniest part is that you actually believe all that mess to be faced with indisputable truth. Even your own children witnessing against you, and to still choose to believe your own lies. That's lunacy. Whatever, just because a scam court and crooked so-called unification counselor helps you along doesn't mean the truth changes. I have the video of the kids confronting you from their own words, counseling records also from their own words, but if they don't care, then that's their business. If they want to be liars and your tools, then I'm grateful that they aren't in my house conspiring any longer. Thanks, you proved my sacrifices for them were a wasted effort, but I still didn't know it at the time, so it wasn't a waste at all. What you freed me from was your bullshit drama many, many years early. So go ahead and gnash, bitch, but the dogs stay outside. I know the truth, and the truth sets me free. I don't give a fuck about the liars and what they think they get away with. Liars have been miserable existence, and the only reason they lie is because they are losers who can't handle honesty because it requires doing real work and earning what they should have, not what they have, not stealing it, etc. Okay. And it goes on. So we can really see people reading that. So, all right, I may not even be able to get all the way through this. I'm definitely not on track to get through it.
When she was put into a second mental hospital, and I only through Yahuwah and
walk around a little
an
bit.
old friend from several states
Wireless
away,
headset.
was I able to get her back. And when I picked her up, the head nurse at the hospital told me
Love you, bigger.
that she was pregnant. And
Yeah.
we went directly to Tomahawk.
She
to get
rambles
her
about
animals
53
and
minutes, and I'm
I
only
told
like
Aaron
11
and
minutes in on
Victoria
my commentary.
she's pregnant.
I just,
And Victoria just looked sad. She didn't even seem surprised.
no, I'm making.
Aaron didn't seem surprised either. He was angry. He was
I'm just
very
commenting on this video, but I'm
He was
trying to
more
comment enough
angry
that
at
it
me
doesn't get
for
taken down.
trying to
Anyways,
say
So, but
a few
a
words
lot of
to his
backstory,
wife
a lot of
from the steps.
stuff. But anyways, love
And
you,
he
Bubba.
was at the Hallelujah Scriptures goons who busted in on me when I literally was trying to get out of the shower.
Okay. If you watch that, there's a video clip of her footage, and anyways, if you put it all together, that's exaggerated. It may not be completely false. I have no idea what she's wearing, but that clip, the uncut version, she's like messing around with the camera for quite some time, on her phone for quite some time. He had time to get dressed or whatever else. Anyways.
He didn't care that we were being attacked at Hallelujah Scriptures nearly as much as he cared about me being there talking to Victoria right after I told him that I just found out that Allison was pregnant. The hospital clerk was very clear that
Charging battery.
psychotic and that her memories were accurate. That she was age regressed
Yeah.
to a previous.
That's what I caught on to. There is like really no telling what has actually happened here. The drugging allegation further makes anything a possibility. This makes it a very relevant thing should I show to bring up what actually happened with their mom and how the kids were confronted about the abuse, how they actually know about it, and then somehow, I don't even know what to believe about that. As far as I don't know what to believe the kids actually honestly believe in their own head at this point. I can't imagine how they believe what they actually say. I don't know why they would not be cooling off from being so, especially knowing that their life has been hell and shit, which is not a total surprise. Not a surprise at all, honestly. I'm glad that they're alive. Honestly, that wasn't a guarantee. Still isn't, because I don't really know how fucked up their emotions are with this, being with this bitch and this manipulative, fucked up bitch doing whatever she needs to do to get them to do whatever she needs them to do for her, with zero shits given about their actual well-being beyond their perceived well-being, beyond whatever might come back to bite her in the ass. Which is why she loves cults. You can watch, by all the exposure of this bullshit, that cults don't give a fuck about anything but their fucking cult. That's why it's a cult. That's why they're in it. They're freaking... Literally, there's him and how do you have a whole fucking meeting? How does the guy that's leading this thing sit up there? How? How can you have children get molested and raped and other kind of crazy sick shit happening, and you can sit there while a whole congregation is bringing stuff up? How? How is that even possible? To be something that you can weather? How is there still even an Adam Fink that's anything more than a former fucking cult leader? Because that's how deep cults goes, and that's why people like her love cults. Honestly, she's telling you this whole story, but the truth doesn't fucking matter. This is her chance to put out whatever narrative
Charge complete.
works for her. Fucking A, man. The volume level on the automated voice stuff for my headset is so loud, so if you see me jump, it's fucking because I got a jump scare by my headset telling me charge complete. She's playing the fucking cult. There's no telling what, if anything, actually happened to my daughter here. That doesn't mean that nothing happened. But honestly, you can't put it past this woman to be okay with it if for any reason it looked like turning another cheek to that was going to enable something else to happen. This whole witness thing that may be going on, and she did say something about her name being Mud or something, but there may have been a point that she was supposed to get something or be something special, have something more to play, there could be something that fell apart that was supposed to be in it for her with like Adam Fink or something like that. So it's entirely possible that she has allowed something to occur that was whatever, it was going to work for her, and then now it's working for her because it didn't work for her. Or now she's trying to make it work for her the other way around. This woman is capable of that. I have no idea what's actually happened with my daughter. It's entirely, absolutely possible that nothing happened. Even while being in a cult where apparently a bunch of this shit happens. We don't have a credible witness coming up and speaking on behalf of my kids. This is all freaking hearsay. Why can't my daughter speak for herself? She's an adult. Fuck the cult and their little made-up 20-year-old rule. She's 19 at the time of this. To be honest, I'm not sure she's still 19. Listen, the way that I've handled this situation is to accept it for what it was at face value and let it be. There was nothing I could do to change it. I left nothing on the table that I knew to bring to the table originally. If the truth had mattered, what I did should have been sufficient. The fact that the truth didn't matter, I didn't have the money to hire a lawyer that could get this way. Like I imagine that the only fighting chance I had would have been if I would have hired one of the other big donor lawyers in the county. But I couldn't make that happen, and there was not enough guarantee. There was no. By the time it came down to that, it wasn't what would be the point. Anyways, wow, I'm kind of like fading out really fast too. Just in tiredness level or this level. So yeah, there's just something more to this story. I already just press play, but this is getting so. I'm fading out quick, but I really hate to not get through this in one shot.
Trauma. That's a backstory that I'm not getting into.
Oh wait. Yeah, wait a minute.
Aaron doesn't even know most of it. He just knows her dad was abusive. He does not know the full details. And at first, I was defending him, Aaron, because I thought that he was similar size to her dad. Same height, red hair, long beard. Same height and weight, wears the same type of jacket.
I don't know what she's talking about, a jacket.
So
Okay. But this, obviously this caught my attention earlier.
Hallelujah scriptures.
I've not seen Aaron
nearly as
growing
much.
up, like firsthand, but he's looks to me like he's still kind of a frail thing. Is he taller? I don't know. But just for the record, I didn't have my long hair while my kids were with me. I grew it out afterwards. I did not have long hair. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Can I? Shoot. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So, anyways, I've really screwed this up because my commentary, anyways, yeah, this is bizarre. It's gonna be bizarre. All right. What am I trying to do? Oh yeah. Okay, so I gotta get away from full screen on that first off. hang on. Shoot. Hang on. Just briefly, I gotta do this. Let's see. I don't know why I don't know why I changed Facebook accounts the last time I did, but literally, it's kind of a good thing I did though. It actually was close enough to when this stuff went down that it's really preserved a really. Wait a minute, I posted this to the wrong. Oh, I didn't. Okay, hang on. So. No. Sorry guys, I'm spacing out. Wow. These fake friends that get suggested to me, man, some of them are really eye catchers. Like, bing, I'm looking for something else, and Bing was the wrong. I was just being like, I was only trying to reference an iSnap. I wasn't trying to reference. Bing was a little close to Boing, I guess, or whatever. Anyways, I was not that much of a reaction, but anyway, no, I can't show the whole page here. Come on, man, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to look for. Why am I lost? I haven't been using Facebook hardly at all. I literally. What am I doing? Why am I? Jeez. Holy crap. It took me so long to get here that I gotta. Alright, now let me unstick this. Alright. Oh. Okay, hang on. This is still not. Alright, let me try this. There we go. Alright, that's my Allison. This is the subject of this video. This is my daughter Olivia. And this is roughly 5.5 years ago. Because anyways, that's my stepdaughter, Allison, who, by the way, never had anything close to this being suggested, but supposedly, I think in a text message or something, Allison claimed that she molested her when she was a kid. Never brought it to my attention, so when you're no longer in my house, what am I supposed to do about it then? And because there's not enough credibility there, I don't know if she was hoping to get me to cause trouble with her. Look, it wasn't I had nothing to prove. I had nothing to, it just wasn't my problem at that point. And that was because of her. But anyways, and that was me. Oh, that brought this whole thing about. Look, I did not have long hair. I did have red hair, and my beard was starting to turn white, but it was a little bit more red then. I think I'm finally starting to get the white hairs. My hair's gonna turn white. I'm gonna be freaking Gandalf, as you can see with my beard, but it's been slower for me than it is for a lot of family members, so that's good. This was my final first day of school picture with all 4 of them. At this point, Rebecca had not yet died, so Matthew wasn't with us. He'd been kidnapped by them. So Matthew should have been starting school for his first day of school at this time too. He wasn't there. That's Ethan and Clinton. It's Olivia. That's Allison. They're all smiles. And if you don't have the discernment to see that those are genuine smiles, that's why you're in a cult, because you're a sucker. Anyways, that's my daughter's cat, Oreo. As far as I know, unless I've lost track of it, well, there was something that caught me by surprise that I forgot about being an accusation. That was kind of horrible, I guess. But I forgot about it, and I guess whatever it was, I've forgotten about it again, because by default, I'm thinking the worst thing I was accused of is killing this cat. I didn't kill that cat. The cat disappeared. This cat, Oreo, was king of the castle. He was the top dog out of all the cats. He was the ruler of the roost. In their pecking order, he was on top. Allison later on went on to sneak him over to her mom's house. She snuck him over. And I would have not allowed her to take him. I would have definitely, at the very least, been saying it's an extremely bad idea for the very reason for what did happen. When she brought him back, he was no longer king of the castle. He was the outcast. Olivia's cat had disappeared first. Olivia's cat was like the runt, was always the one kind of outcast. Disappeared once for like a month, turned up for a little bit, then disappeared again. They all kind of did that when they ended up disappearing eventually. Oreo was missing. He was clearly being the outcast, and he'd come up a little bit or whatever, but he was, I believe he disappeared for a little bit, popped up briefly, and then he was gone for good. And I spent hours in the evenings a few different times trying to help her look for that. I took chances on going through the woods for any chance of finding a carcass or something too, just to get some closure. And we have copperheads around. You don't go to the woods in the summer for almost any reason. There's no reason to. It's a recipe for a disaster that you didn't have to risk. But I did that to try to help with that. And my reward for all of that, the fact that I would have helped prevent this scenario that caused him to disappear, is to be accused of murdering him. And then they're playing the pass the buck thing. Like, Allison doesn't want to own that blatant lie against me. So Allison says that Olivia told her that I told Olivia that I killed the cat. Now, so the ownership of that apparently allegation of abuse is coming down to Olivia. And I can't remember if Olivia's actually said anything about that directly or not. It seemed like somehow they managed to pass the buck back and forth. So like really, each of them managed to, and I'm not sure exactly how they did that a second time. Allison passing it to Olivia should have pretty much left Olivia owning it. I think it leaves Olivia owning it, but I just think Olivia is just basically at that point be like, oh, then it leaves the possibility that she genuinely misheard something. So this horrible thing that they're sticking by, But the reality is I've never harmed any of the pets. I've never threatened any of the pets. The worst I've ever brought up was the possibility of needing to rehome Allison's pet Chihuahua, which she would not house train for nothing. It was an unacceptable mess. And guess who got rid of that dog when she had the chance? Her mom. So while I'm supposedly horrible and doing all this to her, she's like, whatever excuse her mom gives, she's all in. So that dog, long gone, as soon as her mom had that. So it was used against me to no end, and then her mom wasted no time getting rid of that dog. So, anyways, the one with the sketchy track record with pets is their mom, not me. And case in point, I still have all the animals that were here, minus cats. Now, Clinton's cat we still had Clinton's cat, and we had Lucky. Lucky was Matthew's cat, but kind of considered Matthew's and Ethan's shared, because Ethan already had his own dog at the time the cats were in the picture. So I don't know, however that worked out. So Tiger stuck around for about a month or so. Then he disappeared for about a month or so. Then one day I saw him on the top of the well house. And I'm like, hey, Tiger, it was good to see him. And I never saw him again. Like, if I could do that all over again, I would have carried him in the house. If I could have kept him from disappearing altogether, I would have. I didn't know what they were up to, but it was back. I don't understand why it played out that way. Somehow Lucky got his tail cut off, or got his tail broken or infected or something. I spent like $300 at the vet. Had to have it. There was no way to save the tail within reason for me, so I had to have his tail cut off the rest of the way, which I absolutely hated because he was just such a cool cat, so pretty. But that had to be done. Wasn't the end of the world. I got him fixed while I was at it, but it was still have him be like. So now he's a partial inside cat, partial outside cat. I basically didn't feel right to keep him inside full time, and then he disappeared. And it was at least a month, maybe 2 or 3. And then one day we stopped by and talked to some friends up the road, a ways up the road, and he was there. Just a random stray is what the friends thought. I was so excited to see him. Matthew was excited to see him. That was so cool. And I started to leave with him, like when we were leaving later. I rather wasn't thinking about it. And then the look on my friend's face, I knew. And I told Matthew, let's leave him here. We know where he's at. It's good. We could consider getting another cat or something. But they're clearly attached, and we're just happy that he's doing good or whatever. And he went on to disappear from there down the road, but it was quite a bit down the road. But anyways, it happens. It's the country. Cats disappear, and then we've got my neighbors across the street are crap people. They literally shoot anything that's not their own animal if they get a chance. And so that's why Jake's on 3 legs, and that's why our current Oreo, who we thought was this Oreo when the neighbors brought him, that's why the neighbor kid brought him over, thinking that was that cat. Allison wasted no time proving that it wasn't that cat. Like it was clear that she was more important to her to prove that it wasn't that cat than she dared to hope that it was her cat. So that's how important it is that's how big of a percentage of the allegations against me are dependent upon that one accusation. At least the ones that I know about. So sorry, I'm looking sideways, but I'm looking at the screen that I'm on. I tried to do this a little bit better. I guess this point, let me try to move the camera over here. This will be a little bit better. Okay. So this is Allison. Look at me, I'm the camera guy. And we did something we always kind of needed to do, and we did it. I didn't know this would be my last opportunity ever to pull this off. But it was just a few days, the final weekend, I guess, before school resumed. And we did a camp out in the yard, and it was awesome. Like, we live out in the country. Like the creek that's close by that we go to, a lot of people go there to camp, but I'm like, there's no point in camping here and not having legitimate toilets available when we literally can have that part of the experience at home while still having access to sanitation. And it worked as well as hoped. It felt like a full-fledged camping trip. It was fun. We had a cookout in the yard, did s'mores. So I don't know why that's the only picture I have from that. Okay. This is Allison and her dog, Hope. Again, I'm the cameraman. Ethan's there putting rabbit ears over her. She's smiling at me. What's the date of this? This is Allison on a random day at home during Rebecca's cancer. I seem to recall this was the day I was intentionally giving them to play to joy while Rebecca was at the hospital. I don't allow them outside if they're home alone for safety. I'm her dad and the only adult present, and that isn't a fake cheese. So this was from February 4th, 2018. So before the final custody hearing, but I'm clearly making the case that, that they're happy that the nonsense is exactly that. This is, I'm pretty sure, my last group photo of all of the kids. This is Jake when he was just a puppy. Now this is still quite a bit before the final custody thing, I think. Again, okay, this is the date that this was uploaded is not part of that. So, okay, so, but that's real. This is like, I don't know, Olivia's got something weird going on, but that's Allison. Like, I don't, this is one of them. There's a better one. So that's not the one I'm used to seeing, I don't think. This is me taking pictures of him while we were up in North Dakota before the blind side and the divorce. So 2011. So the blind side for the divorce was 2012. That was, so there we go. That's all. That's 4 of my kids there. This is me, the Torah keeper. I had a beard like that. And anyways, I'm the one in the pictures. I don't look terribly happy there, but I was happy. I think that picture was fondness. That's some stupid stuff from stepdaughter. There we go. See how much better this picture has. I must have just either confused others or whatever, but no. Okay. No, this is different from that other one, but it's the same moment, obviously. But there you go. And this is Halloween. We're doing some kind of thing at the park. And then they're playing with blocks in the living room. It's Olivia. Oh yeah, Olivia was friends with, go back to that, but I wasn't sure what was going on. Wait a minute. I could have swore I just saw more pictures on this. Okay, oh well, this is enough. It's enough of a tangent. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna hide this again, just to be stream safe, and I'm gonna look. I know I was scrolled through more pictures than just that. There must have been albums.